Hey, LinkedIn fam, how's it going? Last week, I asked for some help regarding understanding the requirements for an international student to get a PR. And since then, I've learned a wealth of information that I wanted to consolidate and share with y'all today. So let's jump into it. The question was around what kind of job is required for an individual to successfully be invited to get a PR? And we originally jumped into it thinking that it just mattered that we had 1 year of Canadian work experience and it had to be within one of these knock codes. And essentially, every job that Canada offers is associated to a certain knock code or a tier in which the job aligns to. And to get a PR, I was under the understanding that you had to be in tier 0 to tier 3. And I've come to learn that that is only one fraction of the requirements that are required to get a PR within Canada. Typically, what is required to get a PR in Canada is it comes down to what your CRS score is. And your CRS score is your comprehensive, I believe it stands for comprehensive ranking system. So this comprehensive ranking system is essentially a tool that allows international students, skilled immigrants to come and identify exactly where they are within the ranking system. And so this is what we filled out for the individual I was career coaching. And it was kind of shocking the score we came to. Um, just considering the level of education that she had and considering her proficiency in English, I really thought I just assumed it was going to be a higher score, but you know what happens when you assume. So I wanted to just go through this quickly with you. I'm going to give a quick background to this individual, and this is the individual who completed this CRS application or CRS scoring, so we knew where she was at. This individual is 24 years old. She came here. She graduated from a 4 year university for international business, and she was just looking to get a job with whatever her degree would allow her to get. So a general office, general business, general finance job, just kind of basic things, right? You go to school for a 4 year degree in finance or business, and then you graduate and you go work at a bank, an insurance company, wherever you might work, but just a general progression to the individual's trajectory from education into work experience. What we found, though, even with the 4 year degree and all the requirements, she came up short of what is typically or what we aim to get when it comes to getting a higher CRS score. And this is what we came short on. So I'm going to jump to the bottom here. We're going to take a look at the score right off the bat, and then we're going to backtrack from here. So this was the score that she got, 426. The cohort of individuals that were invited to apply recently for their PR, they had a comprehensive ranking score of around 730. So we really see the disparity here, and I want to jump into where we were missing a big fraction of our points and how we pivoted to address this. So we got a lot of our points essentially from the core and human capital factor. So this is just general age, the age of the individual, the level of education that we had, the official languages that we spoke, and then the Canadian work experience that we had. So that right off the bat allowed us to get up to 370 points. Unfortunately, this individual doesn't have any spouse or any brothers, mom, dad. They don't have anyone here with a PR. So we lost out on all of these allotted points here because we didn't have anyone that was accompanying us in the country. As well as skills. When we reflected back on her foreign work experience, there was very little foreign work experience. This individual came here as a teenager, essentially, took a 4 year degree, and then graduated. She didn't really come with experience from her home country because, you know, she was a teenager. There was nothing really to work then. So it was unfortunate that we didn't have any experience, but that's one thing they take into consideration as well. As well, we were looking at the possibility of having a provincial nomination. There are some provinces where it's easier to get a provincial nomination. Like if you go to Saskatchewan and other unpopulated provinces, they have easier nominations that you can get if you satisfy some of their job requirements. That will get you a provincial nomination. But here in Ontario, the job market's tight, and just the sheer number of international individuals that are looking to get a PR, there's so many of them, right? So it's difficult to get a provincial nomination here unless you're working somewhere within the STEM systems, if you're speaking French fluently, or if you're working within the healthcare sector. So those are some things that might give you the competitive edge against someone that's maybe just taking a business degree or a general human resource course, something along those lines. So these are all things that we were considering when we were looking into this. Some other things you can consider is getting a labor market impact assessment. So what this is essentially is an employer would vouch for you, saying that there's no Canadian that can do the job or can work as good of a job as you can. And so they were able to provide a labor market impact assessment. And that just essentially lets the government know that you are the only qualified individual to work said job. And that also counts as points towards your CRS ranking. And that might be able to bump you up in the score to get a permanent residency. So we were kind of lost. We were like, what do we do next, right? We had that score of 426, and we were looking at how are we going to best position ourselves to get a PR in Canada, because that is the goal. We came here to study and we want to stay here. So we were looking into other alternatives, and considering we want to stay within Ontario, one of the programs we were looking at is the caregiver program. So if you work 1 year as a caregiver, this kind of fast tracks your ability to get invited to apply for a permanent residency. And so these are the options that we're looking at right now. So we're going to make a quick pivot, and we believe we're going down this path of identifying how to become a caregiver, how to ensure that we do the right program that allows us to get the permanent residency after 1 year of working a caregiver, and then we can transition into our business or area of business in which we want to be employed in, because obviously that's what we came here and studied. So I just wanted to share this. It's pretty wild. The competition is very tight. I know there's a ton of international students coming here to study, and a lot of international students are under the impression you come here to study, you get a degree, you get a job, you get to stay, and it doesn't seem like that is necessarily the case anymore. The labor market's getting tighter, competition is getting tighter. We're bringing more individuals in. More individuals are chasing that PR status. So you really have to set yourself. You have to set yourself ahead of the bunch, and you have to have a really good coordinated plan as well. The CRS score, what allows individuals to be invited to apply, that number keeps changing. This recent cohort was 730, but it does fluctuate just based on the labor market, based on how many individuals are trying to apply for this PR status. So I just wanted to highlight this. I hope this provided some information. If you're an international student going through this right now and you're trying to identify the best way to get your PR, I would love to work with you, and I'll show you more details of how I helped other individuals do that as well. And also share your story. If you have a success story, if you have an understanding on the best way to fast track this process, I would love to hear from you. And then maybe we can help some other individuals along their journey as well. Cheers. I hope you have a fantastic day, and take it easy.